What if I told you there's a message on a front office thread right now that says call me now, and it isn't about a minor tweak, but a move that would shift how the West game plans against the Lakers overnight? What if I told you the conversation isn't about adding another shooter or a back-end depth piece, but about reconfiguring the core so the identity makes sense from October through June? And what if I told you the window for action isn't someday, it's this cycle, this stretch, this moment, before the league recalibrates? Here's my promise to you. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down why this topic hit the table, how the on-court fit pushed it there, what the money and mechanics look like, and what the ripple effect would be for rotations, roles, and the way defenses load up on LeBron and Luka. We'll talk risk without sugarcoating, upside without fantasy, and why timing matters as much as talent. Stick with me. This isn't noise. You're watching Lakers News Fan Report. If you live for real hoop talk with zero fluff, hit subscribe, drop a like, and ring the bell. This channel is where Lakers fans think the game together before it becomes tomorrow's headline. Let's set the stage. The Lakers didn't just shuffle around the edges. They tore into the blueprint. Pivot to size in the middle, more point-of-attack toughness on the perimeter, and two gravitational hubs running the offense. That gives you star power and structure, but it also raises a simple, brutal question every night. Do your forwards connect the system or clog it? Can they guard up a position, hold the glass, and still give you winning spacing when the stars compress the floor? Rui Hachimura has been a fascinating swing piece in that puzzle. On the good nights, he's a walking pressure valve, clean mid-post touches, strong cuts, soft touch in the lane, quick release from the corners, and enough size to punish switches. He can guard bigger wings and stretches, and when the ball moves on time, he finds rhythm shots that calm a game down. That matters when your stars bend possessions into chaos, and you need someone to turn that into points. The tension shows up against elite opponents. Defenses shrink to the elbows when LeBron and Luka live in the slot. They tag rollers harder, sink off the weak side corner a beat earlier, and dare your non-snipers to shoot with a hand close. If the shot doesn't fall or the rebound doesn't stick, the runway for the other team's transition game appears out of nowhere. That's where a forward's true value gets tested. Can he own a defensive glass, hold his ground on switches, rotate on time, and still punish the coverage when the ball swings? Add the calendar. The West is young, long, and relentless. You don't get 7 possessions to figure it out in May. You get 2. If your spacing is a hair off or your small-big rebounding balance skews off, the series tilts. That's why front offices stress test lineups in October and November as if it's late April, because you only beat math with clarity, not hope. Now the point you came for. Here's the headline that's circling the room. The one that changes how the league reads. LA, the Lakers are actively exploring scenarios that send Rui Hachimura out, yes. Out if the return locks the identity and fixes the weak spots this roster can't ignore in a 7-game series. It's not a ceremonial, listening posture. It's real due diligence with frameworks that already make basketball sense. What's real and what's rumor? Real. There's internal traction to convert a forward scorer who needs touches into a role that returns either board dominance in the front court or a no-doubt two-way wing who defends up and hits open threes at volume. Real. The contract slot is the lever mid-tier. Money that pairs with filler to chase a single needle mover or 2 high-utility rotation pieces. Not real? There's no signed paper, no agreed deal, and nothing more than scenarios until a team meets LA's threshold. That's the line. Why this? Why now? Fit and stakes. With 2 heliocentric playmakers, the third forward has to be ruthless on the glass, clean in the corner, switchable on defense, and unselfish in usage. If that spot wobbles against the best teams, you can love the player and still not love the overlap. The front office isn't punting on talent. It's chasing coherence. And coherence is what wins in the last 6 minutes. Let's talk frameworks, because this is where it gets interesting. Option 1. Flip the slot for a board-first big who can live and drop, survive switches in short bursts, and own the defensive glass so LeBron and Luka don't have to. That means fewer second-chance points surrendered, better early offense looks for the stars, and cleaner pick-and-roll maps where the weak side corner actually stays glued because the defense respects the rim seal. Option 2. Go the other way and land a rangy 3-and-D forward with length who can chase elite wings, screen for Luka, cut with timing, and hit 38+% from 3 on real volume. Option 3. A split 2 rotation pieces who together give you what one name can't. How does this play on the whiteboard? Imagine a closing 5 with a true cleanup big anchoring and a shooter who's trigger-happy from the corners. The star duo attacks, the weak side stays honest, and the offensive rebounds finally flip your way. Or imagine a switchable forward who can guard the opponent's best wing, freeing LeBron to play off the ball defensively and letting Luka preserve legs for the fourth. These are not nice-to-haves. They are the difference between trading haymakers and deciding the last 2 possessions. Let's be fair to Rui's game. When he's cooking, he's a rhythm scorer who punishes smalls on the block, buries mid-range looks without breaking flow, and slashes in the gaps when defenses turn their heads at the nail. His offensive feel helps against switching teams that take your first action away. You don't just replace those touches with a spreadsheet. You replace them with a scheme that needs fewer touches to get the same points and add stop. So what's the risk? Chemistry first. Rui's a quiet worker who doesn't pollute possessions. You gamble that the incoming piece fits the room in the timeline. Production second. You're giving away a guy who can drop 18 on 10 shots when the game slows. If your return doesn't finish plays or hit threes with guts, you'll feel it on cold nights. Cost third. To get real difference-making size or a true two-way wing, you pay a pick a swap or a young piece attached to Rui's mid-tier slot. Cap logic. The number is movable. Mid-tier money is the bridge you need to reach premium roles. Pair it smartly and you can shop in the aisle that fixes problems, not just decorates. That's why this isn't a summer thought exercise. It's a live dialogue. When the cap map's clear and other teams start calling about their own timelines, mid-tier salaries become the tool that gets deals over the line. How would the rotation change the minute this happens? More defined jobs. If it's a glass eater, suddenly the second unit's defense stops hemorrhaging extra chances, and your stars run off misses. If it's a two-way wing, you can live smaller against spread pick-and-roll teams and still keep the paint decent. Bench rows sharpen. Shot diets clean up. Your end-of-clock prayers reduced by 2 per quarter. That's 4 to 8 points. That's a game. The Luka-LeBron calculus matters here. Both bend help. Both thrive when a corner shooter keeps a tag defender honest. Both need possession count and pace to be right more live rebounds, fewer take-it dash-out dash of dash-to-dash net jogs. That's why a rebounding big or a no-doubt spacer defender next to them is more than aesthetics. It's oxygen. You don't trade Rui to win a press release. You trade him to fix how the stars breathe in the fourth. There's also the playoff picture. Think about the teams you have to beat. Rangy wings, elastic bigs, guards who live in the paint. If your forward spot can't toggle between banging a power wing and chasing a cutter, you start every series with a math problem. A switchable defender or a vertical rim piece turns that math into manageable arithmetic. It puts the onus back on the other coach to adjust first. That's where stars steal series. Let's sketch a game flow after the move. First quarter, you establish the rim with a real seal. Threes flow because tags are honest. Second quarter, the bench mids stop being a coin flip because the glass is yours and the corners stay hot. Third quarter, you toggle lineups either size to choke the paint or wings to run the arc. Fourth quarter, the possession game is yours. That's not theory. That's the exact margin the Lakers have lacked in tight, high leverage spots. But there's an opposite scenario you have to respect. Stand pat and double down on continuity. You bet on Rui's touch staying hot, On the defensive rebounding improving by committee. On the stars ironing out timing, so his corner looks are cleaner and more frequent. You keep the pick capital, keep the chemistry, and take your swing in the buyout market. That's a path. It's just not the aggressive one. Where does this leave the fan heart versus the front office head? The heart remembers playoff bursts, those nights where Rui looked like the third scorer who made defenses pay for every overhelp. The head sees mismatches in April and wonders whether those same minutes hold against the very best when the game shrinks. That's the honest tension driving tonight's calls. Timeline matters. Early season is for testing. Midseason is for decisions. The longer you wait, the fewer partners have flexibility. The more teams talk themselves into, we'll fix it in July, and the harder it gets to pry loose exactly what you need. If the Lakers act, it'll be because the board says the return is more than talent. It's alignment. One more thing. LeBron and Luka minutes are attacks. Every possession they create draws bodies and elbows. The cleaner you make those possessions, one real spacer, one real glass eater, the less wear you put on them now, and the more you get in the last 5 minutes. This is the quiet part most fans don't see. Front offices do. It's why this conversation exists at all, Doc. So Lakers family, I want your blueprint. Would you move Rui for a board boss big who turns the paint into no-fly airspace even if the shooting takes a tick down? Would you chase the no-drama two-way wing who locks the opponent's best scorer and stands ready in the corner at 39% from deep? Or do you keep Rui and hunt value later, believing the continuity tax is worth paying? Drop your trade lane, your ideal archetype, and how you close games. This is your team. Be the GM tonight. Here's my personal take. Clean and simple. If the return locks identity size on the glass or a true two-way wing at volume, I'd do it. The fit next to LeBron and Luka demands clarity, not compromise. And yes, this is speculation, not an announcement. We're connecting basketball logic to a live possibility, not reporting a done deal.